someone looked at me and she's like, she wasn't doing anything. And like, we were just laughing. The crowd on screen clapped and cheered. Us in the audience of the theater, we all clapped and cheered. What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lauren if you're new here, and let's talk about the Taylor Swift Eras concert film world premiere in LA at the Grove that I got invited to yesterday at the very last minute, and it was insane. Chester, it was crazy. It was so crazy. Did you see him bite me as I went to kiss him? In case you didn't see the first video that I posted either today or yesterday, whenever you're seeing this, I turned the camera on at like 1 a.m. last night when we got back and just like filmed like the excitement, and it turned into a rambly video, so I decided to just put that one out in the world. And now I'm gonna make a more concise one telling you about just the things that I wrote down on my phone. Like, I'm gonna bring you a little closer. It was an amazing night. I still can't even believe that I get to say that. Make sure you're following me on Instagram and TikTok. I have been posting videos with audio because you know that I can't post that here, but I just wanted to dive right in to the Taylor Swiftiness. Like, this is still just the coolest thing ever. Like, this is the coolest thing ever. Ah, I showed you this in detail in my other video. Go check it out if you got a cash 30 minutes to sit. Oh God, don't fall off my lap. This is my dog, Chester. He is a 3-month-old corgi puppy, and we love him very much, and he's gonna be joining us for this video. Okay, last night, I was in the theater, and I just started like writing down things that I wanted to talk to you about, and I have no script for this video. I'm just gonna see where my memory goes, because there were just so many things that were like, I feel like TMZ was like, oh, Ed Sheeran's gonna be there, and Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, and then it's like, Beyonce was there? Did Beyonce stay the whole time? I don't know if she did. Adam Sandler stayed the whole time in the theater. I didn't even know that he was a Swiftie. Like, there's just so many cool things that happened yesterday that I don't know. It was really wild to have Taylor Swift be inches away from me, inches away from my face in a casual, intimate setting, just kind of like pointing in our direction. We don't know if it was at me or not. I'm just, watch the other video in case you don't know, but yeah, it was insane. I got a +1. I got the invite on Monday. I asked Matt if he would come with me and be my date, and it was just so cool. I mean, we're gonna get into the notes that I put on my phone, and then from there, I'll probably give you some other long-winded stories, what comes to my mind. If this is your first time on my channel, hi, my name is Lauren. You should subscribe. I'm pretty fun, I'm casual. Did you just lick my armpit, dude? Let's start with my notes. The very first note that I wrote down to myself at the beginning of the movie, and I put, to be able to watch Fearless in a theater full of Swifties. Oh, this was so great. To be able to watch Fearless in a theater full of Swifties and put up heart hands, whatever you want to call it, and look back 2 rows and see Andrea Swift and Scott Swift doing the same thing with you at the same time. Like, everyone, bless you, everyone was just like, the second that Fearless came on and she was just singing it, everyone put their hands in the air, and I just to like look, I'm getting chills. To look back and to see Andrea and Scott just above their head, just doing it, and I'm like, we're experiencing the same thing that they are right now. That's insane. That is totally crazy. Dude, I need you to chill for this video, okay? It was just like, that's a core memory I will never forget. Whoa, is what I wrote. And it's so true, just, okay, I'm gonna tell the Scott Swift story. Have I ever met them before? I don't think so. I feel like I've seen Andrea and Scott Swift just like around at like random, at the grocery store. No, at like a Taylor Swift concert. I feel like I've seen them around and like Swifties in line and getting pictures with them, and it's fine if you are a Swiftie that's like very excited to wait in line to talk to Andrea and Scott Swift. I really hope no one thinks that I'm like bashing on that. I love how excited Swifties are to meet and chat with Andrea and Scott Swift. Like, they are just, they talk to every single person. They're handing out friendship bracelets. They're swapping friendship bracelets. Scott Swift is always handing out his guitar picks. And so, I don't know, it seems like I already, you know how it feels like you know someone when you really don't? Are you eating my dress? Don't eat my dress. Life of a puppy parrot. You know when like you don't really know someone, but you feel like you do? So Matt and I are standing outside of the theater, and Scott walks by. Actually, I think I was standing there, and then Scott was just kind of like next to me. for some reason, and no one else was around him. I don't know, no one was flagging him down. There was no line or anything. And so he was like right next to me and kind of like looked at me, and I go, hi friend, how are ya? That's just me. And then he goes, oh hey, good to see ya. How are you doing? And I was like, I'm great. Like, are you so excited? Like, if you, I don't remember what I said. I'll have to ask Matt exactly what was said. Because then he like turns like, yeah, like I'll see you in there. And I was like, are you watching in this theater? He's like, yeah. And I was like, us too, like casual. And so then I turned to Matt, and Matt just goes like, oh, like who was that? Like, that must be someone you know. And I was like, that is Scott Swift. That's Taylor Swift's dad. And he was like, no, like that has to be someone you know. And I was like, I don't know him. That is Taylor Swift's dad. And he just acted like he knew me. I'm someone that has a familiar face. I've always been told this. Strangers come up to me. They don't watch my YouTube channel, but they'll be like, Rebecca, hey girl. And I'm like, no. And then I'll be at restaurants. I'm like, oh my God, how are you? Like Lucy. And I'm like, no, I'm not Lucy. But like, hi, I hope they're nice people. I'm Lauren, hello. It's happened to me my whole life. I just have a familiar face. I tend to remind other people of other people in their life, which I guess is a good thing. I don't believe that he actually knows who I am. And then the crazy part of my brain goes, well, you were on the Reputation World Stadium tour, and your video and voice played before every single show and after every single show, and her parents went to like almost every single show, so like maybe there's a chance. But I don't actually think that. I just know that Scott Swift, all the Swifts have media training. They are kind, they're polite, they're just very, very nice people. But that was I just have to say, that was like a really cool moment. And then, before I move on to the notes in my phone, quick little side note, picture of me, Matt, and our friends Alex and Ross. I love that we were in the same theater together. So the four of us were like kind of talking. This was actually, wait, okay. So then I walk down to our friends to just like go say hi to them. And then they start telling me that Flav is down their row and just right over there. And then Matt just goes, I'm sorry, Flav? William Jonathan Drayton Jr.? I was like, excuse me, Matt, who are you? I didn't know. And he's like, no way. And then Matt like takes like a little stealthy like pick like across the way. And this is while Flav is like handing out guitar picks, going down the aisles, talking to everyone. I was like, do you want to go say hi, Matt? And he's like, no, I don't know, I want to accost him. And I was like, we're at a Taylor Swift world premiere together. He's like talking to like Swifties and their parents and just being like, let's go meet him. And he never expected that we would be watching the movie with Flav. Matt is a huge, huge fan. Loved him in the peak of his like 2008, 2006, whatever. That was just like a funny moment. So then we had come back from meeting Flav, and then we're like standing on the aisle, and like there's like a line of people, I feel like, to like go talk to Andrea and Scott. We were in a pretty small, intimate theater. It didn't feel like it was a weird thing if you wanted to go do that. They were talking to every single person. They did have a security guard on either side, which kind of made me be like, is Taylor coming in here? Is she watching the movie in our theater? She didn't. She watched the movie in theater 2. We were theater 3, and there were police guarding the outside of theater 2. I'm shocked that it wasn't like an all celebrity theater. I know that there were a ton of celebs in their theater, but there are like some fans that were in theater 2 as well. So if you were one of those people, comment down below. That's pretty cool. So anyways, we're standing on the aisle, and then I kind of like see that it's like Scott Swift like right there, and I was just like, I don't even know. Like we were just, it was a very human interaction. We were standing on the steps, and he just kind of like walks down. He's like, how are ya? How are we all doing? And we're just like, we're great. How are you? This is totally cool. Totally normal thing that's happening right now. I'm gonna have to have Matt confirm this because he's got a very good memory about these things. I think we said something like, are you excited for the film? And he's like, yeah, of course. I mean, I've seen it before, but I've seen a rough cut of it before. I haven't seen the final thing. Scott Swift said that Austin and Andrea went through the rough cut frame by frame. I don't know if, you guys care about the details. I know you do. We were talking about the fact that he had only seen the rough cut and not the final version. And then Scott Swift proceeds to tell us this little story about how he's like, you know, and this is Scott talking to Taylor, like dad to daughter. It's really crazy. I like that he says the name Taylor like how my mom says it. I don't know if it's like he says Teller. Am I saying that right? Taylor. I say Taylor, and like, how did he say it? Oh, I'm gonna remember it. It was like Teller. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The accent that I'm trying to say, it's just like a very subtle accent. Taylor just had this like 4-night run in Mexico, and the altitude was just very different. And so I kind of looked at her and I was like, Taylor, like you need to like seriously consider like getting in some oxygen. Like we could have someone or just kind of like take like an oxygen something. Scott Swift was saying that, you know, in between the stage when she goes down and changes into outfits, he was saying right then and there, Taylor, you should consider us giving you oxygen between stage transitions. That's what he was saying. And I'm gonna tell you this from Scott to Taylor Swift. You should really like you should consider like getting some oxygen. You're doing all of these things. And Taylor just looks at me and just says, Dad, I'm a beast. And we're just like, oh yeah, your daughter said that to you. How casual, your daughter. The global pop star, Taylor Swift, your daughter, wild. It was just like a very funny, human, normal interaction. And like, no, I don't have like any pictures with them. It was just like a really, I don't know. Like I remember just like, he like walked away and Matt and Alex and Ross and I are like, ah. It was cool. It was like very, very funny. And it's funny to just like hear tidbits like that. Taylor's a regular person. She's got a dad, she's got a mom, she's got a brother. Like we were all in the theater together. That was just like a very funny, wild story. I shared on my Instagram today and a bunch of you guys tweeted me. You're like, that's kind of crazy. Look, Taylor Swift is a beast. Is she ever gonna stop touring? 3.5 hours every single night? Like, I don't know how she does that. Back to the notes. Next note that I wrote down was, I never got to see the stage graphics from above, so this was amazing. I'm about to say something that sounds very privileged, and I recognize that. I went to the Eras tour twice. One time because I purchased it, and the other time because I stumbled into it from the kindness of an incredible Swiftie friend of mine, and both times I was on the floor. What I'm about to say is not me complaining at all, okay? I loved my seats. It was an amazing experience both times. However, one of the things that I like noticed in other people's videos is just, and I think it's a really good thing, that there really are no bad seats when you go to this show. I never got to see the really cool stage graphics. Like, there are so many different things that I didn't get to see because I was on the floor. Like, again, not complaining. But like when I was at like I will put on screen the 2 spots on the floor that I was for both of my shows. The way that she would go on the stage, like I wouldn't always like get to see her super close. And so I just like be looking at the big screen, having a great time. But I didn't get to see the really cool stage graphics and like, you know, some of the choreography because it wasn't near me. It wasn't in front of me. I couldn't see it. And I love that this concert film shows all the graphics. There's things on there that I didn't even see. I thought that was really cool. Like, what's that one part when she like steps on the ground and like lightning comes off during Reputation, and that is so cool. Like, I didn't get to see any of that, and I love that the concert film lets me see that. I don't know, just like fun little random notes. Next note that I wrote down in all caps. We were in the same theater as her band. The same theater as her band. So during Lover, when she's like singing Lover and there's like couples, her dancers are like coupled up doing these like really intricate, cool swing dances. I put the dancers were like standing up and taking a bow. That was so cool. Oh my God. So yes, we were in the same theater as her band, and I think some of the dancers, I don't think all of them, but some of them. I know that she was actually in the theater. I know that I think a lot of her dancers were in her theater, Theater 2. In ours, I don't know who exactly was in ours, but all I know is that during Lover, when Lover was playing on screen, there was like specific moments of a couple dancers, and like someone just like kind of got up and they're like, yeah, like pointing to the people next to them and like, oh yeah, and someone like got up and like took a bow, and we're like, sis, that's you. You're right there and you're right there. Like, it was so very cool, and I can't even imagine what it would be like to be Taylor's band or Taylor's dancers and being like, Mom, not only did I get to do the craziest world tour with Taylor Swift and I know her and blah, 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 but like, I'm in a movie on a big screen that everyone is watching right now. Like, that's just like the little things that are like so cool that like I didn't really think about until we were in a theater with her band, and it was just like cool little moments. Like, we'd all be like watching the show and just like singing, and then suddenly someone would come up on screen and you would just be like, oh yeah, and then we're like looking down and we're like, oh, that's you. Like, it was cool. It felt like I was a part of the band. I'm not, but that was cool. That was a cool little note that I wrote down. Next note I wrote down said the FX during rep were so cool. I'm not gonna spoil it, but there are a couple moments where they added in, just for the concert film, some cool special effects, CGI, like specifically like as they're introducing each era, which I thought was really cool. I don't actually know I don't think that she put the name of each album on screen on the tour. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I couldn't see the whole situation, the whole stage, so maybe she did. But I like that in the concert film, it was like, you knew which era we were in. Evermore, Folklore, Rep. Rep's intro, if you've seen it, comment down below how cool it was. I don't know, that was like it's like a very small moment, but I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys if you're gonna go see it, but if you have seen it, just comment down below how cool that little moment when we transition into the Rep era and you see that view above the stage, you know what I'm talking about. It was cool, I wrote that down. And because of where I was sitting on the floor, I didn't get to see everything like someone would be able to if they were in front of the stage in like the lower bowl where she's like performing for you and like the choreographers are like, what am I saying? Or the dancers are like performing frontwise or whatever. I wrote down little things like the way Taylor wiggles her arms like a snake during Are You Ready For It? I didn't notice that. Did anyone notice this? She goes like, I'm gonna camera up for this. She's like, I'm trying to decorate this little nook with pumpkins. I didn't notice this, but she was just like singing like, Are You Ready For It? And she was going like this and making like a snake movement. She was going like this and just making like a snake movement like as she was singing, and I didn't know that was a thing. Did you guys know that was a thing? I thought that was really cool. I don't know, I thought it was cool enough to just write it down in my little notes of just like things I want to remember. And like, I don't know, so cool. All of this is so cool. Here's something else I wrote down. It was so amazing to see all these excited people in the theater. We were all bouncing around in the theater and clapped like we hadn't seen the show multiple times. It was amazing, like songs, and like there would be like a transition. The crowd on screen clapped and cheered. Us in the audience of the theater, we all clapped and cheered, and we were just like dancing, and like I kind of was worried that my hand movements in the chair would like block someone else's view. But the way that our theater was, there was like a big enough thing that like I could even go like this, and I don't believe that I was in anyone's way because people in front of me, I couldn't see them at all. If any of you guys went to the Eras tour, did you have moments where you just kind of looked back at the crowd and just, oh, I'm getting chills thinking about it, like took in the joy, the look on people's faces, the people around you that are sobbing, that are so happy to be there and screaming every lyric and just talking to strangers and just screaming lyrics at strangers. Like, oh my God, I'm getting chills right now. I want to go back. That was so great. I'm literally getting chills. Like that there's something to it. Like, yes, seeing Taylor Swift in concert is one of the highlights of my life, but I don't know, maybe it's the pandemic like freaked me out or whatever. We're never gonna get this situation again. To just like look back at like hundreds of thousands of people just being joyful, having an amazing time. There's so much hate and terrible things in the world, especially right now. I don't want to talk about it. And it was just amazing to just like look around the theater, and like it was a dark theater and no one was dancing for their phones. No one was dancing for Instagram. Like we were jamming out and dancing because we needed to. It was like we were back at the tour, the real tour. Like that is how this concert movie felt. And I am very curious. The world premiere that I went to, I think is gonna be different than the ones that are releasing tonight, tomorrow, and this weekend. Because I think these theaters are playing other movies as well. Like, are people gonna be allowed to sing? Is it gonna be too loud? I don't know. I'm very curious. If you're watching this today, or if you have, just come back in the comments, let me know. Were you allowed to sing? I would hope that other people singing wouldn't like ruin other patrons' experience. I don't think it would because of how loud the movie is itself. Like it feels like you're back at the concert. It was very loud. But yeah, it was just, the vibes are amazing. Oh, here's another thing. Like I loved, like we all did the 1, 2, 3, let's go, bitch. You could tell the people that like knew the little Swiftie lore and the things, like she's in the middle of Bad Blood and I just go, hey, stop. And someone looks at me and she's like, oh yeah, she wasn't doing anything. And like, we were just laughing and just having fun. And I didn't know who these people were, but we knew who each other was for that like 3-hour situation in the theater. And it was just fun. It felt like we were back on tour. People were cheering for every single note change on Folklore. Met some woman on the internet and take her home. Like the like higher notes that just, it was just so fun. It's like we all hadn't seen this show multiple times, and then we're paying to go see it again. But on very comfortable chairs and with comfortable shoes, which I gotta be honest, there's something to be said for being able to feel like you're back at this tour from the comfort of a chair. I'm gonna say it. I loved the concert, I really did. But sometimes I get like a little claustrophobic when there's people pushing and it's like, there's a tall person, you know what I mean? Not to say that I had a bad time, I had a very good time. God, do you see how like afraid I am to offend people? I am. There's Swifties that just sometimes come out of they Karen the snake. Karen the snake with a Y, not Karen the meme or whatever. Sometimes Swifties get like a little bit crazy and I just feel like I don't want to like offend anyone because I know not everybody could go to the tour. You know what I mean, you know where my heart is. Another thing that I noticed that I didn't know if this was just a concert thing or if this was a graphics thing that I couldn't see because I was on the floor. There's a train in the background of Great American Dynasty that goes across stage, like a train graphic. Was that in the tour? Was that on the show? I didn't know. I also didn't know until I saw videos after the fact, like during Blank Space. I know that she had like the golf club, but I don't feel like it really like hit me that some of the other dancers, like when she was raising to the ceiling, it was the same car from this music video that she's smacking with the golf club, and just like little details like that, that I just feel like I'm back on the tour. Go to this film, guys, go see it. I'll try to include a link in my description for you to find a concert film near you. It was just one of the things, and that is the end of my notes, but I got more to say. One of the things I really loved, and yeah, I'll include a video of it here, from my LA show. I went to 2 of the LA shows. You see this guy, 2 guys, with these cameras like swooping around her, and it is such incredible cinematography, honestly, that as you watch this concert film, you don't see any of the cameras, with the exception of one time. One time I noticed a camera, like the camera on stage with her. It's just like the editing that goes into it, of like, to get the shot that's like right below her, and then to have the shot immediately cut to behind her, and it's like they match it up perfectly, where you think that you're just on stage with her, but it's like, no, that's actually 2 camera angles that were shot. They then have to sync them up, edit out the parts. It was amazing. In case you didn't watch my Eras Tour vlog when I went to the 1989 reveal night, I did go to that one, but the Saturday prior, the Saturday LA show, Matt and I sat outside of SoFi and we got camping chairs, and we drank champagne. And the only reason we were allowed to be there is because there was this like drone station set up on the grass outside SoFi. I don't really know if we're supposed to be here on the lawn, but the person just kind of said, as long as you're in the corner, because that's the drone station over there. Like, yeah, the little blue station, there's like, they're doing drone footage for the concert, which is really cool. So in the beginning and the end and kind of throughout the show, you'll see these like panning shots that are like, that's not a camera dolly. Like, that's a camera dolly, not camera comma dolly. I'm not calling you my dolly. Sorry. I'm very hungry. My salad's sitting right over there and I need to go eat it. It was just cool to like see the drone that would like lift up and go down and straight to the SoFi Stadium, because I watched that drone take off and come back down and swoop around. It was really cool. That was just a very cool thing. This was just so well made, and having that conversation with Scott Swift about like, oh yeah, I only saw like the rough cut. What did he say? He was like, she had like very specific things she wanted to like keep in or take out. And it's like, that's so interesting to just like know what goes into making this film. I don't know. Super freaking cool. Oh, I just had a thought. What was I gonna say? I remembered. They cut out Long Live. That was shocking to me. That was pretty shocking. I wasn't expecting that, and it's like, I wonder why. Is it more expensive to have a film be the exact same length as the tour? The movie is 2 hours and 48 minutes long. These are the following songs that have been cut from the film. I guess spoiler, skip ahead if you don't want to know this, but I feel like you already know this by now. She cut The Archer, No Body, No Crime, Long Live, Cardigan, which, that was kind of crazy to me. Wildest Dreams and The Seven Interlude were cut. She did include the part of like the, you know, when there's like that 8-minute standing ovation that she got. She did like a little 1-minute version of it. Kobe Bryant's daughter, who got the 22 hat in LA, that's the 22 hat that they showed. It was amazing. It was really great. Another spoiler. So when it became time for surprise song, Matt was sitting next to me just like, no idea what's going on, but along for the ride. And then the two Swifties to my left were like, okay, what's the song gonna be? She's wearing the red dress and she's over here. And I was like, I think it's gonna be maroon. And they were like, yeah, I think it's gonna be maroon. It was very funny. The surprise songs that she did during the acoustic set were You're on Your Own, Kid, and Our Song. Like, I'm glad that she did Our Song because that's kind of like her way of including debut in the Eras tour. I loved it. And You're on Your Own, Kid was a song that she performed how many times on tour? 4 or 5? A bunch of times. And then, like I said, I think I said this earlier, Long Live was played during the credits. Oh, and as soon as the credits pop up, it's friendship bracelets. It's cute. If you're going to go see the movie in film, in theaters, make sure you stay to the end because they include some like video bloopers during the credits, and it was just really cool. And honestly, it was a very surreal moment to have the credits start to roll, and then when the band members' names would pop up, like you'd see like, yeah, and they'd like take a bow, and I'm just like that, like how often do you get to do that? I don't know if Paul Sidoti was in my theater. I think I would have noticed that. Unless he was in like the front row, I feel like I would have noticed Paul. I don't know if he was there. I don't know where he lives in real life when he's not living on Taylor Swift's cloud. But it was just cool. It was really cool. Like different dancers were all excited and that was really cool. What a once in a lifetime thing that happened. Like, I don't care if I got to bed late. I don't care if it affected like my job today. Like it's just once in a lifetime chance. The Grove is shut down, covered in red carpet. I'm gonna be in the same building as Taylor Swift to watch the film that she made, that she started, wrote, produced, all of that stuff. And I'll include some clips here that I can find on the internet. Like there were people who filmed Taylor Swift jamming out in her theater. Like, but there was like a funny one that's like Taylor Swift dancing to the Eras tour like she's not Taylor Swift. Like that's so true. That's what she was doing. And I don't know, the speech that she gave, should I show it? I'll show the end part of the speech that she gave.
Hello, that is... So, I wanted to just quickly come say hi. Hi, Taylor! I wanted to say hi, you guys, because this is for me, and we're a small family business. They come up with the best ideas that ever happen in my life, and they care about you just as much as I do. So the fact that this room includes my band, who have been there for me through unbelievable moments, ups and downs, and all the things. I love this theater. I love all of you for being here, and thank you for just wanting to spend this very special night with us. This means more to me than you could possibly know. So thank you.
We love you!
I love you guys so much.
That dress.
God, I wish I had a nicer iPhone. I have the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and I realized that my exposure was like stuck on some crappy setting. So it was not sharp enough, and there are much better videos out there. But I really liked like watching her come in and like talk to us. She looked so great. And there was this like kid in front of us who was like so excited, like screaming her name. And I liked her like happy little prance walk. It was so fun. It was, oh my God. It was insane, it really was. The ending credits has friendship bracelets as like that's the credits. I think that is just such a cool little nod to the Swifties, like, oh. Beyonce and Taylor Swift at the Eras Tour world premiere. Where was Beyonce? Did she stay for the film? I need to know. These are the things I need to know. Julia Garner was there, the Starlights were there, Keely Teller, Miles Teller's wife, Is a video of her apparently doing the look what she made me do choreo during the movie. Like she's not like, she's like a stan girl of herself. I love that. Taylor Swift said that every person at the premiere was handpicked to be there, which is so very cool. I was invited at the last minute and I'm very happy about that. There's no complaints over here, but my contacts over at YouTube were like, yeah, we would like to invite you, like send us an email, blah, blah, blah. Like you're not confirmed yet though. And then it's like, I got confirmed and that's really cool. Like, is she really spending the time doing that? It was really cool to like see clips of her at the barricade, like going one by one and like taking selfies with people. There have been so, oh my God. I know I was just like shitting on Swiftie Twitter earlier, but I love Swiftie Twitter, I really do. There's this one girl who like screen recorded Taylor Swift trying to take a video on her phone, and then she like turned it to like a panorama, and then Taylor's like, ah, sorry, and someone else who was like, can you draw a cat on my arm? I'm gonna get it tattooed on me like later this week. And Taylor was like, hold on, that was a bad cat. Hold on, let me draw another one. Like, don't do, it's just, she's a real person. She's just as excited about this film as we are. Like, I don't know. I loved in her little speech to us. I haven't fully watched the other speeches that she said in the other theaters, but in ours, she was like, I just can't believe that I get to do this. I can't believe that music is my career. It is wild to me that this is my job. And I'm like, it's your job. Like that's what it is. She's a person, she's a regular, cool person that we love, but music is just her job. And not just, that made it sound like I'm downplaying it, but it's like, it's her talent. The words, just, even like sitting next to Matt during the All Too Well 10-minute version, I was just like, how do you like come up with these words? And he's like, yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's just like, it was so great. Oh my goodness. Is there anything else that I want to say about this before I wrap this long-winded video up? 'Tis the Damn Season was cut. That upset me. As upset as I could be, experiencing an incredible highlight of my light knife. Not that upset, but I love 'Tis the Damn Season. That's one of my favorites. That was cut. Ugh, it was really cool. It was an amazing night. I'm extremely thankful. I'm so excited for you guys, for everyone else to go see it this weekend. I want to get this video up before then so that I can join in your excitement. Yeah, I want to get, I say this too many times, but I would like to start figuring out a way to decode Midnights. There are so many songs that I'm just like, I listen to it and I'm like, oh, maybe this is that, and maybe that is that. And it's like, I keep wanting to be like, I want to start my podcast, if you've been following me for a while, and I'm like, should I decode it on the podcast? I just feel like the way that I used to decode her like the Reputation album is not the way that I want to decode now. Like, thank you. Like, I feel like I used to go by like line by line. It was very like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, I want it to be more like relaxed and thank you. I don't know what's going on. I want it to be more relaxed, but like with like a script. I was thinking like a live stream, but like a podcast kind of sounds nice for it. I don't know. I don't want my podcast to be Taylor Swift focused. I want it to be about me and my life and the things, so you know Taylor Swift is gonna be in it and involved in it. But I don't know, I'd love to know what you guys think about that. I'm tired of not posting. My hands are starting to do better, my mental health is starting to do better, and I'm ready to come back to you guys. All right, I gotta go take this little boy out. This was really fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I loved sitting here and making this video for you. This was a lot of fun. Okay, 1 second. I probably forgot things that I wanted to talk about. Maybe I'll throw in an iPhone clip whenever, I like to do that. Hey, remember my friend Alex that I mentioned and showed you pictures of earlier in the video? I texted him and I was like, do you like have any fun stories from our night that you'd want to share with my channel? Like send me a video. So the clip I'm going to insert here is him recounting some of these funny clips that, I don't know, I thought you'd enjoy it. Thanks, Alex. I'll include his links and stuff down below. You're the best.
I still can't believe last night was real. I was seated in the theater with family and band. Like, I had no idea that that's who was gonna be in that movie theater. I just went into the movie theater, saw I was sitting in the same row as Flavor Flav. I was like, sure. I was in one of the ones with the leather reclining seats, so that felt chic. And then the whole Swift family walked in. And Mama Swift was in the back, talking to people, waiting to take her seat, but just chatting it up while we waited for the movie to start. So my husband and I were like, let's go talk to Mama Swift. Let's go catch up. I met her the first time when I did the Shake It Off video. We went up to talk to her. We were waiting to talk to her. Flavor Flav was behind me. And then right before we were about to talk to her, Flavor Flav's assistant, manager, publicist, whoever this woman was, honestly, I respect, queen. She just went, "Excuse me," and walked in front of us and didn't really give any explanation and just went ahead of us. Which honestly, good on Flavor Flav for hiring someone with so much gusto, because listen, you gotta get in, you gotta take your shot, you know what I mean? And so they talked for a very long time. And then my husband and I caught up with Mama Swift and talked about parenting. We talked about being the parents of a daughter. We showed her photos and videos of our daughter. We showed her videos where she was like squealing and very chatty, and she said that Taylor was similar and that the squealy, chatty ones are usually the ones that become singers. So gotta sign her up for vocal lessons. She's 5 months old today. Maybe we're late, but we're gonna, we gotta start that soon. It was just amazing. It was amazing to like catch up and talk about experiencing the tour and getting to see, your daughter be like this amazing being and like a superhero. It was just like incredible to talk to her about and just like have that time to catch up. When we were going back to our seat, we ran into Papa Swift, Scott, I forget exactly whether it was about like the tour or the movie or like her being able to do all these things. She said like, "I'm a beast" to her dad, which I was like, like self-aware queen. Like we love to see that. And then Flavor Flav was just handing out Midnight's guitar picks to everyone. He was seated in my row with the wall in front of the seats, like the barrier in front of the seats in the row ahead. He had on top of that wall every snack that they had offered arranged in a line. He responded to my tweet with a photo of all of the snacks, if you don't believe me. He was jamming out the entire time. It was just like the most magical experience. I will never get over arriving at the Grove, this mall I've always been to the sound of multiple helicopters, as if the Pope, the president, like as if a god is here. Taylor Swift is playing everywhere, like the parking garage, the entire mall speaker system. It was crazy. It was crazy. It was the most insane magical night, and I cannot believe that it was so insane that I literally had no idea that Beyonce was there until I got home. No idea. No idea. So I'm gonna go and snuggle this and fill it with flowers or soup or use it as my new Stanley Cup.
And thank you to anybody and everyone who came up to me yesterday, that you watched my videos. Like that means you've been like a long time viewer. So that made me really happy that a couple of you came up and were like, "Oh my God, you're Lauren Lipman." And I was like, "Yeah, hey." It was really fun. It's me. Hi. Ugh, all right. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video, my second video. I don't know, go mess around in the other videos that I've posted. I still haven't done like a full Eras Tour concert thing. Just we got Chester as a puppy the day after the Eras Tour. So it's been kind of a chaotic couple months, but I wanna come back. I wanna come back to YouTube and just let me know your thoughts on this video. I hope that you enjoyed. If you like this video at all, please make sure you leave it a like. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And I started a new series on my Patreon called Blind Reacts, where you guys are sending me any link you want for me to react to, and it's gonna be a monthly thing, and it's been really fun so far. So I'm doing a 1989 trivia live stream a week from Thursday today. I'll put the date on the screen that I'm going live, how about? And then the Tuesday before it, next Tuesday, I'm doing the 1989 trivia on a Zoom call with my Patreon. So if it's in your budget, if you'd like to join a group full of fun Swifties and see all of my unedited videos of every single album ever of Taylor Swift's, come and join. We'd love to have you. No pressure, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed it. You guys put me in a very good mood just talking to you. And I want to know, please comment down below your thoughts on everything. Put it in one comment, put it in a millions of comments. I love it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.